Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to my channel. My name is Christina, aka Ska Punk Forever, I guess is the name of my channel. It's also my Instagram name and my Twitter name. Check it out if you want to keep up with whatever I'm rambling on about or whatever photos I take. Today I want to talk to you guys about music, and I actually want to introduce a new series to you guys. I haven't really come up with a name for it yet. I'm thinking more along the lines of like bands of color, maybe, or people of color in bands. That one's kind of long. I'll get there eventually. More or less though, like the first name insinuates, I am focusing on bands that are either all people of color or have people of color in them. I guess kind of went through a phase where, like, having a phase, it's kind of just everywhere in music. Especially if you're into rock, like classic rock, pop punk, emo, screamo, whatever you're into. A lot of the times you're gonna look at these bands and you might not think about it, you might not realize it, but everybody in the band is white. And that can be hard for somebody like me who's looking for somebody who looks like me in a band and kind of somebody to look up to. You don't really see that. There's also, I believe it was on Pitchfork, it's an article titled something along the lines of The Uncomfortable Whiteness of Indie. I will leave that link down below, and you guys can check it out. It's really interesting. It just talks about like how, like, kind of like I said, like you sometimes look for people of color in bands, people who look like you, people who kind of talk like you, people who have the same kind of cultural background as you. And it's kind of hard to find in music that's not really like rap or hip hop or R&B. Things that lean more towards rock, pop punk, screamo, emo, all that stuff, all that jazz. It's kind of hard to find people of color. So that's more or less kind of why I want to focus on this. I kind of just like to find other people of color. If you don't like it, just click off the video. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and listen to you guys like talk about how I'm being racist or prejudiced or whatever because I don't want to focus on bands that have all white guys in it. I'm kind of tired of listening to music and seeing bands that are just white guys. I'm tired of it. That's not to say that I'm not listening to music that's all white guys. I definitely grew up in the 2000s. I was super into emo music, and I'm still super into pop punk and punk. Ska, I'm really into. Those are all genres that are dominated by white males. So yeah, like, I'm not going to sit here and lie and say that I don't listen to music that has white men in it. I just kind of don't want to focus on that too much. I'm sure it's going to come up. I do want to make a video that's like songs of my childhood and songs that influenced me to be the person that I am today. That'll all be in another video, another series. But for this series, for this bands of color, I want to start us off with a really great band that I actually found when I went to Boston. I picked up their zine EP, I think it's called. It's that one up there, and this is what the back of that looks like. And if you can kind of tell, they call themselves a feminist band, more specifically to describe themselves as a Chicana punk riot girl band. I guess they're in that genre, they would say. This is what the actual little thing looks like. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but it's got some like pink splotches just around. It's pretty cool. So a little bit about the band. They are from Austin, Texas. A super awesome band that gets me pumped every single time I listen to them. The four members of FEA are Fanny Diaz, Jen Alba, Letty Martinez, and Aaron Malgana. Letty is the lead singer for the band, and they are signed onto Blackheart's record label. Basically, from what I hear, she heard them play and instantly just bam, wanted to sign them. First song that I really like on the album is actually the opening song. It's called Mujer Moderna. Basically, the song is discussing rape culture. It covers a lot of cliches that people tend to use, especially in the media, discussing like what women are wearing, why they're wearing these things, it must be her fault, men can't control themselves, all that bullshit that like people just throw out there to try to put the blame on the women. That's our things that the song is covering. It's basically saying that, you know, just because she's wearing this doesn't mean that she's asking for it. Just because she's out late at night by herself doesn't mean she's looking to get laid. And even if she was, that doesn't mean you can force yourself on her. It's also basically just like throwing under the bus the idea is that men can't control themselves and boys will be boys. Like, that's all bullshit. It's bullshit. And I love this song. I love that it covers all of these things. I love that it's angry and it's fierce and it's empowering. It's also really fun to just like kind of jump around to. It's got a really good opening. This is one of those bands where you can kind of tell that they've mastered all of their instruments. You're definitely going to be able to listen to that. Like, the guitars are fucking awesome. The drums are awesome. Bass is awesome. Everything. The vocals are amazing. I love Letty as a vocalist. It is spot on. It also basically discusses how people talk about women who dress provocatively. Like, it must be because she's wearing short skirts or she's wearing tank tops, and if you're going out looking like that, then you're basically just asking for it. Again, this song just basically like balls everything up and just like throws it out the window. It's bullshit, because that's what it is. It's all bullshit. The second song on the album is called Feminazi. Really got like a rockabilly kind of surfer vibe to it. The chorus is really catchy. She says, "I don't hate men, I just love women." And this song is basically an answer to anybody who says that feminism isn't needed anymore. Especially in the US, you kind of hear that a lot. A lot of people like to think that, you know, we don't need feminism in the US because we're not a third world country, or because women here can vote and we can dress however we want. Even though that kind of ties back to the first song, or like if you dress provocatively, like you're asking for something to happen to you. Just like a lot of people think that, you know, we don't need feminism anymore. They think that third wave feminism is just useless. There's no reason to have it. We need to stop complaining and bitching and blah, 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 blah. It's exhausting. It's exhausting and it's stupid, and I don't want to listen to people say it anymore. So the song is basically like their answer to that. People saying that we don't need feminism anymore. This is their answer to that. They talk about why they believe that we do still need feminism, why it's necessary, why we're going to keep talking about it. It's great. It's a really fun song. The chorus is catchy. The chorus is, "I am a feminist," and they say it in a bunch of different languages, and it's awesome. Definitely on my top 5 of these songs, or of this album. The other one that I really like is called Sister K. That one starts with a really fun kind of story, like intro, I guess, where she's basically like, "Hey guys, like, I'm gonna tell you the story about this principal that I used to have when I went to Catholic school, and her name was Sister K, and she was a bitch, and she used to like grab my arm and pinch me," and it's basically, that one basically is talking about like Catholicism. A majority of Latinx people are Catholic. This song is basically a critique of that religion. It's basically talking about how people of the Catholic faith, especially Latinx families, like, you kind of have to kind of follow the leader on this. Like, anything that's different, don't ask questions, don't be different, don't do your hair different, don't listen to rock music, don't dress, you know, provocatively. Like, all of that is like the devil. Like, everything is evil. The song talks about how they tell her that she can't be different, she can't think for herself, don't be curious, because, you know, that's all stuff that the devil wants you to do. It's also just like, it's ridiculous. Like, basically, being raised in like a Latinx Catholic family, you're never encouraged to just be yourself, or just like find your own path, or like be who you want to be. It's very, very frowned upon. So I think that this is a really awesome song. It's something that you don't really hear a lot about, in all honesty. I personally haven't heard a lot of songs that are like trying to like critique and pull apart like all the little strings that make Catholicism what it is, especially like what it means to the Latinx community. Like, my grandparents are like hella religious. I think like I made my grandfather cry when I told him that I didn't believe in God. But again, this is another one of those songs that is just like really fun. You can totally tell that they've mastered their instruments. The guitars on this song are awesome. The drums are really fast and fun. They stay on their really steady beat. It's great. This whole entire song is really fun. I really like it a lot. Stuck Like You is one of those songs that kind of had to grow on me, but lately I've kind of been feeling it. As far as like what I can tell, is basically like this person who feels like they're stuck in life and they feel like they're the only person that's stuck. They feel like everybody else has like found their path and like found what they're doing, and because they feel stuck, they're kind of lashing out at everybody. And the song's basically her being like, you think you're the only one who has problems, but you're not. Like, everybody has problems. We all are having our own problems. If you could like open your eyes and kind of like pay attention to everybody else's problems, and maybe you'll realize you're not actually alone. We're all kind of stuck like you, like in this life. The other song on the album that I basically like instantly fell in love with is the closing of the vinyl, the record. It's called La Llorona. If you don't know about La Llorona, she's basically a figure pretty big in Mexican culture and like Mexican folklore. Other countries in Latin America, even like in Spain, I'm not sure if Puerto Rico has their own kind of folktale about it, but it's basically a folktale. It's about a weeping woman who lost her children, and she is basically crying while she's looking for them in the river. She thinks that they drowned or she drowned them. The story kind of changes depending on who you ask, and bad things happen to anybody that comes across her or anybody who sees her crying. I guess kind of like Bloody Mary, but definitely different. But anyways, this song, the last song on the album, is called La Llorona. It's kind of a weird song to me because, mostly because I am not that great at Spanish, but also I tried to look up the lyrics for any FEA songs online and I couldn't really find any, so I couldn't read the lyrics to like try to better understand them. The parts of the song that I do understand are basically like that she loved this man and she found out that he was cheating on her, I believe. And then the other part of the song that I kind of understand is just like the chorus where it switches between English and Spanish, and she is talking about how she like lost her children and she's crying, she's looking for them in the river. So while I honestly am not 100% positive on what that song is about, it is still one of my favorites just because the instruments are so awesome. The vibe of that song is awesome. It kind of gives me like almost like an 80s metal kind of vibe to it. I could be totally off. That's just the vibe I get from it. A pretty long instrumental intro to it, and then it just builds and builds and builds, and then they start singing, and then it's awesome, and then the chorus comes in and it's really catchy, and it's awesome, and I love it. It's really hard for me to find a song on this album that I don't like. Like, I can listen to this album all the way through, like over and over and over, and just love it, and kind of honestly like feel empowered by it. This band basically radiates confidence and attitude and power and anger, and right now it's everything that I was looking for in a band, and I didn't even know that I was looking for it. Yeah, definitely check out this album. There's a whole bunch of other songs on here that I haven't really covered. Or one thing I should point out, one of my favorite things about this band, they mix in Spanish with their English. They make it interchangeable. They'll start a sentence in English and end it in Spanish, or vice versa. And it's really fun. It's really good. It just flows together. There's not really any awkward moments between like transitioning sentences. You can tell that they're really comfortable with it, and that's how they would talk normally to like their friends or their family. That probably is how they talk to their friends and family. This band is from Austin, Texas. They are all of Latinx backgrounds. It's fun, and it makes it feel special. It makes it feel like this band is for us. Like, this band is for Latinx people. This band is so that we can come together and just like feel empowered by being Latinx. I love this band. I am definitely going to get their newest album, hopefully on vinyl. I'm starting to get a little bit into that. We have a record player that I've never used before. Then we went to Boston, we went up to Newberry Comics, and I, for some reason, just like fell in love with that vinyl section. I picked up a whole bunch of different ones. But yeah, I'm definitely going to keep investing in this band. I'm going to keep giving them my money because they're amazing. I'm really sad that I missed them this summer. I believe they came to Chicago in July, and I hadn't really heard about them yet. Yeah, definitely a band to check out. You can listen to them on Spotify. I'm pretty sure they're on Apple Music. You can look them up on YouTube. Listen to this band. They are awesome. They are amazing. They are empowering. Everything. They're everything. Alright guys, so thank you so much for stopping by on this video. Hopefully you liked it. If you did like it, make sure you give this video a thumbs up down below. Also hit that subscribe button. I'm hoping to continue this series. I really want to keep talking about bands that are full of people of color, that have people of color. If you have any band recommendations, I have a pretty long list in like a bunch of different genres. But if you have any band recommendations, make sure you leave the comments down below. You can also tweet them at me or slide into my DMs on Instagram. And I would love to talk about this stuff. I'm also open to talking about any questions you have about depersonalization or about depression or anxiety. So yeah, thanks guys again for stopping by, and I will see you guys next week. Bye!